I'm sure you, like many other people, have been wondering how the Stanley brand has become the #1 drinkware brand in the entire world over the last couple years, to the point where people are running to Target, fighting over water bottles, and going completely insane over this company's latest product drop. And in this video, I'll be explaining everything you need to know as to how they were able to do it and how you can take the key and main takeaways from what their brand has done and apply it to your business as well. Welcome back to another episode of Unedited, where we talk about all things sales, marketing, and mindset. My name is Lauren Nelson. I'm your favorite sales and marketing coach, and I am so excited to dive into this week's case study because, y'all, there is a lot to get into. What this brand has done is absolutely insane. And if you are able to just grasp even 10% of what they have done and apply it into your own business, you will see some crazy results. So let me just go ahead and open up my notes because we need to start from the very beginning. We need to get some background and you need to understand where this company started off. Okay, so the company's actual name is Stanley 1913. Yes, they were founded in 1913, meaning that they are over 100 years old. They did that. I'm not gonna lie, they did that. And with this being said, it's important to understand where they started. So initially, Stanley was not a company for the girls, right? We see a lot of videos now of women going absolutely insane over these water bottles. It seems like it was made for the girls, but it really started off for the guys, okay? So Stanley their original target audience was for military vets and retired policemen, and more specifically, people in those two groups who enjoyed going camping and enjoyed going to tailgates. That is completely different from who their target audience is today. So let's talk about why this is so important to understand. When you understand where they started, the first thing to know is that before they shifted and before they decided to branch off to reach out to everybody, because obviously if you're creating drinkware, if you're creating different types of kitchenware, it's for everybody, right? And this is where a lot of business owners get stuck because they're like, my brand is for everybody. But what they did very successfully for at least 100 years is that they stuck to one niche, right? The people who are outdoorsy, the people who enjoy going on adventure, the people who like to be outside. That's who they stuck with. And for 100 years, they got really, really, really good at understanding that niche, and they did very well. Now, mind you, during that time, those products were also occasional use products, right? When you think of camping, when you think of tailgating, you're not using these dishes, you're not using these water bottles every single day. These are once in a while, right? Seasonal, if you consider camping seasonal. I mean, it depends on who you ask, right? But you are not thinking about using these every single day. So this is where they started off. This is who they were targeting. Now, another thing, and a very important thing to note, is that the reason why they were so successful outside of sticking to their niche is the fact that they had quality products. Their products are so durable. They get the job done and they are consistent, right? It's not some products are good, some products are bad. And mind you, they source all of their things from, I almost said they source them from the US. They don't do that. They work with, they've partnered with different companies internationally to make sure that they can get consistent quality. They're doing ethical practices, all of these things. But they made sure that through that supply chain, that they have consistency with all of their products, meaning that whoever decides to buy it, they know that they're going to get the same result again and again and again, which then makes it easier to refer a friend, to tell a friend, and tell a friend, to get new people to want to buy, to increase word of mouth marketing, etc. Now, let's talk about how they went from only being a male focused company to now being for the girls. So it came down to all the way back in, I believe, 2017. Yes, 2017, when a company called The Buy Guide got introduced to their quencher. Now, the quencher is the product that everyone's going crazy over, right? The signature Stanley Cup. Now, this company got in cahoots with the brand, and from that, they were like, we love this cup. We want our audience to know about it. So, just to give you some background on who the Buy Effect is, they were a company on Instagram, right? One of those faceless brands. But mind you, I think this brand was a bit more face forward. There were three founders, they were white women who were passionate about showcasing products for their community that they loved and they thought that their community would love as well. So they found the quencher, they started pushing it, and mind you, it started selling out very quickly. And so they came to believe that these products were going to be discontinued soon. So they started telling their audience that the product was going to be discontinued. Make sure you get it soon, right? Like you need to get one for your kids, for yourself, whatever. And so because they kept telling their audience that's going to be sold out soon, they kept selling the quencher out in stores and everywhere around them. So it came to the point where they started telling their audience to tell Stanley not to discontinue this product because they loved it so much. So it come to find out, Stanley was actually never going to discontinue the product. They just weren't prioritizing it at the moment, right? They had this entire product line, but the quencher was the last thing on their mind, which is why they only had so few in different retail locations, so few online and in their warehouses ready to purchase or ready to sell, because it just wasn't a priority. It was just another thing that they sold. Now, fast forward, the founders of the Buy Guide ended up getting into communication with the Stanley company, right? They went to go meet with the execs and they just start having discussion. And at this time, Stanley wasn't aware of influencer marketing. They had not got caught up to speed with digital marketing. They weren't really aware of how to maximize their efforts online. Now, by partnering with this company, they were able to see like, they don't really know what's going on. So let us show them, right? That's what the Buy Guide was saying. So Stanley, not knowing what influencer marketing was at the time, was like, okay, well, you guys can buy wholesale. It was no affiliate links. It was no discount codes. They said, buy wholesale from us, sell, and we'll go from there, okay? So the Buy Guide ended up buying 10,000 units. The first 5,000 they sold out in 4 days. The next 5,000 they sold out in 1 hour. Now let's talk about why this happened. Number one, scarcity. They know the audience of the Buy Guide knew that this product was quality. And one of the biggest points of psychology that was played upon as this brand continued to build and shift audiences was the fact that there was very slim resources. And when I say resources, I mean there was very low product. So there's all this demand for the product. However, there's very little supply. That makes people want it more. People want what they cannot have, right? It makes people more excited. I don't know what it is about our human brains, but it's in all of us, right? We want things that we cannot have, and it makes it more exciting when we get something when it is scarce, right? The last thing we want is something that everybody got. Okay, it's easy to access. It doesn't make us excited. It doesn't make us want to go out and get it. But when we know there's only 10 of these, there's only 100 of these, and there's a million people wanting it, I got to be that person to get it, right? And that's what fueled the growth of this company. Now, moving forward into how they continue to scale, right? Because they brought the products wholesale. Now what? Okay, so then Stanley realized that there was room for opportunity. At first, they weren't really interested in the digital marketing space. I mean, obviously they were posting, they were doing all the things, but they weren't interested in evolving until they got new leadership. And then two, they didn't realize that there was a whole new market that was waiting to be served with this product, right? Like I mentioned before, they were only focused on men prior to being exposed to this new audience. So the Buy Guide helped them realize that they needed to start taking in new data, and they could not be afraid to pivot if they wanted to do this successfully. And so what led to the success of Stanley was their willingness to pivot and to try new things based off of data that they sourced right from the market. They see that they're being sold out. Why would you not cater to this audience? So let's talk about how they were able to do this successfully. Now, again, I keep touching on the point that they were data driven. So once you realize or once they realized that their audience was primarily women for this cup, simply because, you know, they were introducing it to their market as that, they were able to see that women wanted more than just a water bottle. They saw and treated their water bottles like accessories. So this is what led to them creating new colors, new designs, new patterns, stickers to go on the bottles, because these women wanted to feel proud when they had their water bottles, right? They ended up seeing it as a sort of collectibles, things you can post on Instagram, right? They became Instagrammable. And this is something really important to keep in mind. When you're creating products, you want to make sure, and even when you're creating services, you want it to be so good that people want to share with others. Again, the reason why they were so successful was because of their word of mouth, because of their what is the word? Their customer generated content. That's the word. Because of their customer generated content and the fact that they didn't have to ask people to share because their product was so good, that's how they were able to grow. And again, we know companies like Mary Kay, Aveda, all these things where, and even that knife company and the Tupperware company, where women go to women and talk about how great it is, that is what gets sales going. And so what they realized getting into this market is that women between the ages of 25 and 50 are the biggest buyers for the economy, simply because women buy for themselves, they buy for their children, they buy for their husbands, they buy for their families, and then they recommend. We are builders, we are nurturers. This is what we do. So the buy guide was like, y'all are seriously missing out on a bag if you're not marketing to women. Right? Because we like these things. This is what we do. We like to talk about what we got. We like to share. We like to evolve. We like to grow. And we like to collect things. Right? It's what we do. And so let's get on the collectibles point, right? When we think about things we like to collect, people like to collect stickers. Some people like to collect coffee mugs. I know I used to. Some people like to collect, what else? Candles. Oh, that's something I like to do too. But there are so many things. Books. People like to have things that make them feel good, that represent a higher sense of self, that make them feel like when they're connecting with it or using it, that they are the person who they see themselves as and who the world see themselves as. So with these water bottles, when you have something cute to go to Pilates with and drinking, right? It matches your outfit. You feel good. When you open up your cabinet and see all these colors, it makes you feel something. And that's what this company started to play on with this specific audience. And mind you, they didn't even have to try so hard. All they had to do is switch up the colors, switch up the designs, and listen to what the people wanted. And now they're the #1 drinkware brand in the freaking world. Right? It came down to empathy. Okay, and let me just make sure I'm not missing out on anything. Okay, so now moving into how they were able to successfully market these things. Again, it's really important to understand that in order to be successful at anything, you need to have the best quality, right? And so they have great quality. And mind you, just a little side note, right now their quencher bottle is 90% recycled material. Like, it's great. And just the time, focus, and attention they put into all their products, really, the results speak for themselves, right? Like, there's hundreds of other water bottle companies out in the world, but because maybe the quality isn't good, they aren't as customer focused, they aren't marketing well, they aren't getting the same results as this company is, okay? And so now, again, moving back into how they were able to market these things in the real world. #1, they started implementing product drops, right? So we hear of drops in the sneaker world and in streetwear brands where companies launch a specific number of items and they release it at a specific date, and then once they're gone, they're gone. And mind you, most times these are limited versions, so they usually don't create them again. This is what the water brand started to do, or the water bottle company started to do. They started doing drops with different designs. So again, playing on that scarcity factor in our minds. Okay, there's only going to be so many of these specific designs for so long. And once they're gone, they're gone. So now people want to get them. They want to go out. They want to collect them. It's very important to understand who you are targeting to use the right tactics to reach out to them. #2, they started doing strategic retail partnerships. Again, they needed to find retailers that matched the quality of service that they were providing to their current audience. Again, when you're the best, you only want to be partnered with the best. Now, mind you, a lot of times businesses want to be partnered with the best, but they aren't the best themselves. You have to carry yourself with a level of excellence if you want to reach the next level, if you want to partner with people who are going to the next level, because that is the only way you will succeed. And let me just make sure I'm not missing out on anything else. Blah, 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 blah. Oh, no, I think that's about it. That is about it. But let me just go through the main 3 takeaways that you need to consider when trying to grow your business, because again, this is a beautiful study as to how a company who has been around for so long was doing okay, but now they're the number 1 company. Okay. So the first thing is understanding that throughout that 100 years, they focused on being great in one specific area. Again, choose your niche. A lot of you guys are so scared to lose money that you're losing money. Choose your niche. Be focused on your niche. Be more empathetic. Try to understand. See what they want. Right now, you're half-assing your niche, and you're confused why you're not making money, but it's because you're 1 foot in, 1 foot out. Double down on what you know. Ask the right questions and get to know your people. Number 2, understand that positioning is key. You can have a great product, but if you're not positioning it in the right market, key point, the right market, you will not make the money you're looking to make, and you'll be missing out on great opportunities. Again, this company was around for over 100 years. It wasn't until like the 120 something, how many? 110th, 113th, I don't know. Over 100 years until they finally pivoted and was like, oh, there's a new market opportunity. Let us capitalize on it. Let us focus and hone in on what we know and who they are so that we can get the most results and serve them in the highest way so they can have the best experience, so they will market for us. They don't have to post another picture on their social media and they would still make sales. Okay. And then number 3, they did not start out saying they wanted to be the top drinkware brand, right? But through the evolution of their company, through their willingness to transform and pivot and evolve with the industry and the market, they were able to become that. So again, staying focused on what it is that you have to do. And I just had something else come to my mind that I want to share before we close this out. Another thing that they've started implementing is influencer partnerships with people who are in that specific niche. Right now, we're going to be completely honest, and this isn't me being rude or anything like that, but their target audience is white women between the ages 25 and 50. Okay, and that's just that. And so knowing that, right, knowing that they're probably soccer moms, knowing that they're the moms that probably go to yoga and Pilates, knowing all these things, you can find influencers who are in those niches. So I know a lot of us have been confused as to like, why is it only white women who want to buy the tumblers? Like, we don't understand. Why is everybody just buying the quenchers? Like, what is going on? It's because that's the target audience. And it's as simple as that. It's nothing bigger. It's nothing smaller. It's simply that white women initially found the quenchers. They hyped it up to their audience, which was other white women. And then it expanded through there. So imagine a black woman found the quencher. She showed it off to her community. She got connected with the execs. They started teaching about influencer marketing. Then the target audience would be completely different. So it's just understanding that the positioning matters. And in this case, that is who they are targeting, and that is how they are building their brand. Okay, so with that being said, I hope this was insightful. I hope this was beneficial to you. If it was, please go ahead and leave a like and please leave a like and subscribe if you would like to, if you have not already. And I'm excited to be doing at least maybe 1 or 2 case studies a week, just so you guys can continue evolving and learning with me. But yes, I have a lot of new things coming for you. More specifically, I have a sales workshop coming up, I believe on January 20th, but we'll talk a little bit more about that later this week. And if you want more updates, go ahead and follow me on Instagram, where I'll be posting those a little bit later today. But with that being said, I love you guys so much, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.